Hello, welcome to Educate Teachers. Today our topic is how to deal with disruptive students in classroom. In this topic we will discuss different types of disruptive students and will recommend how to deal with them. Hopefully this video presentation will help all teaching related professionals. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel Educate Teachers for further teaching related informative videos. The golden rule of dealing with disruptive behavior is never to do anything that will make the situation worse. Below are suggestions for dealing with the most common types of disruptive behaviors. Dealing with inattentive students, dealing with late arrivals, dealing with early leavers, dealing with domineering students, dealing with rambling students, dealing with distressed students, dealing with challenge to your authority, dealing with noisy students. Dealing with inattentive students. If you decide you would like to increase a student's attentiveness, it is good idea to try to make eye contact with them. You may also find that students are suddenly more attentive if you ask them a question. If you explicitly relate the topic to assessment or keep them active. Dealing with late arrivals. Don't forget that sometimes students have good reason for being late. There may have been a transport problem, they may have just come from a previous lecture on a distant part of the campus or another campus altogether. Their previous lecture may have overrun. This is not their fault. Avoid saying anything irretrievable. It could be that this was the first time ever that the latecomer had been late, or it might have been unavoidable, but they still plucked up the courage to come in. Remember that, I repeat, remember that the latecomer has at least got to you. If students are habitual arriving late for your class and distracting students who arrive on time, then let students know that the first 5 minutes of each class will cover material relating directly to the assignment. You don't then need to make special efforts to brief latecomers about what they may have missed. And indeed, if those students' good reasons for being late begin to realize that they are missing useful things, they will tend to try to be more punctual in future. Dealing with early leavers, this same approach of including something relevant to assessment can be applied to the last 5 minutes of class to encourage students not to leave early. If students see the value in being there, they are more likely to make the efforts. If this doesn't have any effect on persistent early leavers or late attenders, then you need to tread carefully. You may wish to state clearly your expectations for attendance, but equally you may wish not to risk alienating the students. Whatever you do, don't waste time at the beginning or end of the session discussing excuses, as this is unfair to the rest of the class and is unproductive. Dealing with the domineering students, some students can overpower the group and inhibit the contribution and learning of others. It's your responsibility to manage the group without alienating these students or disrupting learning. In small group make eye contact with the domineering students and then thank them for their contribution. Then try asking someone in another part of the room to speak. If the students persist in dominating the discussion, summarize their point and ask others to speak, or indicate that you are ready to move on by starting to prepare for the next activity. With rambling students, some students can regularly wander around and off the subject. Clearly, this can detract from the learning experience of other students. It is important to try to refocus the students' attention by restating relevant points and asking the students to summarize their main point. Try directing question to the group, perhaps using visual aids to bring the discussion back on track. Dealing with the distressed students. Whilst it is good to be empathetic, it is not appropriate for you to become a student's counselor. It's not your responsibility to offer therapy, but to manage the situation to enable the rest of the class to get on with their learning. Refer students with emotional, psychological, or financial trouble to the appropriate counselor. Dealing with challenge to your authority. Some students may make a habit of disagreeing with everything you say. You should consider recognizing their opinions, pulling out any valid points, and restating them before moving on, perhaps drawing the rest of the group into the discussion. It is important not to be sidetracked or to enter into an argument. It may be best to arrange to discuss the issue with the students out of the class time. Be willing to explain but not necessarily to defend your opinion. Dealing with noisy students, make direct eye contact with the students so that they know you can see them. Direct a question to the area in which noisy students are sitting. This focus attention on that area of the class. Try physical moving to the part of the room where the students are and continue to lead the class whilst standing next to them. If you hear a student make an interesting comment, you could respond to it, thereby encouraging comments from other students. Ineffective ways to deal with disruption. Most of us learn the hard way that there are some avenues which are not advisable when dealing with disruption in class. Reacting aggressively, ignoring the disruption, punishing the non-disruptive students. Don't let a crisis turn into a drama. Reacting aggressively. Although you may find that in short term shouting at students works, in the longer term students may lose respect for you if the only way you can maintain control of a class is by losing control of yourself. If it is not a good idea to try to intimidate students, as they may lead to a standoff where students not wishing to lose face may challenge you further. At the very least, you are likely to reduce their engagement. Ignoring the disruption. It is inadvisable to ignore or give in the unacceptable behavior, as you may find that the disruption increases and you risk losing control of the class. It is also not generally a good idea to resort to sarcasm or embarrassing students, as you may harm your credibility and lose respect. Punishing the non-disruptive students. If you refuse to carry on until a couple of chattering students quieten down, then this penalizes the non-disruptive students. Equally, locking the door 5 minutes into class time stops the chronic latecomers but also penalize the students you may have an unavoidable reason for being late. A far better way to deal with the disruption is to focus on maintaining control without resorting to aggressions or sarcasm. Don't let a crisis turn into a drama. This is a golden rule in dealing with the disruptive students, particularly in large group contexts like lectures. Conclusion. No two classes are alike. Each class has its own personality, and how you deal with the disruptive behavior may differ between classes. It's really helpful if you know all of your students' names, because students are less likely to be disruptive if they know that you know them. Where you have tried unsuccessful to resolve an issue in class, it is usually best not to escalate the issue but to attempt to resolve it at a later time outside the classroom. If you are available to students outside class time, and if you invite students to contact you with concerns and questions, both these actions can prevent many problems arising in class.